Well, I must say this is quite a lineup. Politicians everywhere, but there's the time of the year when it's all happening, and it's there's a big voting coming up June 14th. So that's why we've sort of interviewed a lot of these people. Right next to me, I have Ron Quilang. Ron, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. I'm looking at this card. You're Assembly District 21.
That's correct. I'm running in Assembly District 21, which is around the corner in Henderson.
Yes.
The zip codes are 89012, 89052, 89074, 89123, and 89183.
I can't even remember my own one. You've got to memorize.
The reason that I'd rather give you guys a zip code is because it's such a new district as far as realignment.
Oh, really?
So I can't really give you a southwest corner or you know, west or east, because it's kind of like it's everywhere.
It's all over.
So the best way to relate with the voters is by giving them the zip code, and when they get the zip code, they're like, "Oh, I live in your district."
Now, what are you running for? Assembly or?
I'm running for assembly. I'm running for assembly.
What exactly is, you know?
Usually the assembly is kind of like the it's a house, kind of like a Congress in federal level. More like, you know, we go to a state legislature once every other year. You know, we pass a bill. When bill's good, then it goes to Senate. Then the governor signs it.
Okay, so you instigate the bill
Correct.
first?
That's why it's very important for people to come out.
Or to understand what it is.
Absolutely, and to come out in the local elections, because technically it's like when we pass a law in Nevada, the law usually comes from the assembly, and people need to understand that you know, in order the law to be passed, it has to go through those channels.
Seems like a lot of channels in everything, you know, the police department, running for whatever you're running for. There's a lot of different places, you know, just talk about the Justice Department and everything else. It seems to be like elongated into all these different channels that most laymen, most people like myself don't know, you know, because we've never had to go through it and we don't understand it.
And you know, actually what happens, like, you know, everything starts on the assembly. Because once, let's say, we pass a law that can, let's just say, something about family court, it has to come from the assembly.
So everything that you want changed, and you want,
you go to the
you go to the assembly.
You go to the assembly. You know, you write a bill. It goes to a committee. It passes the committee. Now, you know, we vote on it.
And then it gets passed.
And then it gets passed. Then it goes to the Senate. Then the governor signs it. Then now it's an NRS.
See how it all works?
So that's why it's very important for people to come out and vote.
Can anybody write an idea or something they want changed or some idea they have? Any layman or anybody like myself, say I want to write something that I think should be law or I think should be changed.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I personally, I'm asking this question so you all out there understand what an assembly is and how it is and why it is. So then you write this and you take it to the assembly.
Correct. Well, no, first we write the bill.
You write the bill.
We take it to the committee.
Or to a committee.
Yeah, because you know, usually there's
and
committees.
What is a committee?
Committees usually it's like kind of like it's a different group of folks, which is like, you know, some of them are in state senate, some of them are assembly with both parties.
Yes.
And usually you you know, kind of like they sit there, then you sponsor a bill.
Yes.
And then you gotta have a co-sponsor.
And you will be the one that will be sponsoring the
Correct.
bill.
Or it could be a senator, you know.
So
what happens, like once you get it in there, then of course we hear a testimonial, like, you know, why is this bill gonna do, you know, for us?
Why did you go to why are you running to be in the assembly?
Because the reason I decided to run for assembly, because in the last session, the Democratic Party, it's like they controlled so much of the House, practically everything, all the way down, from executive all the way down, and there's 750 bills that the Republican, you know, have written.
And none of them
didn't even make it to the voting. They just get
shut
shut down.
They just get Senate.
No, it even gets shut down in the committee
before it gets anywhere.
Before it even gets anywhere. And 750 bills that they wrote, none of them go anywhere.
I hope you're all listening to this. I'm not going to repeat it all, but I think this is fascinating.
Absolutely.
So they don't get anywhere. They're shut out before they get there.
So that's why the thing is, that's why we need people there that actually can go in there and really fight for it. if we believe that this law is,
So this is between a Democratic and a Republican, correct?
Usually, yeah. What happens,
That's
like,
what it is. I
correct.
just want you to understand that's between two parties.
Because they mix you all on the committee.
Yes.
It just cannot be. But both parties, of course, can come up their own bill.
Of course they can.
Yeah,
Anybody can come up with any bill.
But it's a matter of, okay, well, we're going to get this bill, but, the majority, we'll shut it down. Then you put another bill before it gets anywhere. So that's why us assemblymen or assemblywomen in the Republican Party, once we win, we have to be united. So that's why those bills can pass.
And this is very hot on the tables at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas, Nevada have passed the law, I believe. Marijuana.
Yes.
What's going on with it? I know that
Do you want to know where's the money? Well, let me tell you something. And this is, I'm pretty sure you guys never heard in the news.
No.
When COVID happened, because they passed the marijuana, especially in Clark County, and our commissioner did that because, of course, that's why we can have money for the children. Everybody uses excuse for the children.
Yes.
So now, a lot of marijuana industry now is open.
Yes.
And since COVID happened, they're kind of fall behind on their state taxes.
So now they feel that marijuana can bring in the taxes.
And they couldn't pay it because they couldn't get the bailout money because they're not legal federally, not just like other businesses that can get a PPP loan or EIDL. Okay?
Marijuana can't do that.
Can't do that because they're not legal federally.
They're not legal.
So what happened is like they went in there, and the reason I know because I actually in a Zoom meeting with a friend of mine because I'm trying to get he has a nonprofit and he just need to understand how the way the taxing work, right?
Yes.
So now there's a person there and they said that well, we can't pay that because
we don't have the money.
We don't have the money. So now they said, well, you know what? What about you wait a couple of months and I believe the governor is gonna pass an amnesty so you guys are forgiven. That didn't get to the news.
I think we're talking politics, I'm not sure.
And the problem about it, not many people know that.
Well, no,
because the only reason that I know is because I'm there.
You were there.
And how many people were there in that Zoom meeting? Maybe like 4 of us, 5 of us?
I know I wasn't there. For sure.
So that's why, and the reason that I strongly believe when it comes to like taxes, finance, and all this stuff, I'm an accountant by profession.
Yes.
And I've seen how the way, like when I look at their business portfolio and I tell them that, you need to cut on this, you need to cut on that, or else you're not gonna make it next year. So more like when I look at it, I'm kind of like, okay, so if I run my business this way,
yes,
I would have been bankrupt.
But if I run it that way, I won't.
Then we'll be, and the funny thing about it is like Nevada has a lot of surplus, because our mining alone and the casino taxes alone, you can actually send a kid to college for free because we have so much money.
Did you hear that? Nevada.
We're a big mining industry.
The big mining industry, yes.
And we get our taxes there. That's actually number one, not casino. Our number one business in Nevada is mining.
Number one business in, this is very, very interesting. And the reason I'm looking at this, because Vegas, Nevada, is not short of money. It's not short of taxes.
We have we have plenty of money. We have, like what I said, when I did the math, and that's one of the things I want to bring up to the state legislature, by getting the mining taxes and the casino taxes alone, that's why we don't have a state tax here. Those are sufficient enough.
Sufficient enough
to take care.
And you have surplus.
Absolutely.
So there should be no. Well, why don't they take care of our homeless, which we have a very large homeless situation?
Absolutely. It's 36% here in Las Vegas alone.
Why are they not taken care of?
Well, first of all, we need to have a bill that passed that. Because you gotta understand, the assembly also is just like Congress. They have to pass bills to fund things.
Yes.
So if they didn't pass anything to fund things, then where the money's gonna go? So that's why this is assembly and state assembly and state senate, it's very, very important.
So
because
should assembly be more open as to what's going on out here and what's happening? Because it seems like we've got a lot of undercover things going on that we don't even know about.
Well, the thing about it's like, that's one of the things that I want to do. The first thing that I want to do is like, if once I get elected, I want to have some transparency where the money's going, because
where is it going?
it's everywhere. And I'm not gonna amend. I'm not gonna reform or change the state fund, but we can do some amendment to actually find out where is it going.
I think that would be a very good idea, that we know where our money is going, since we're paying all the, well, not me personally, but everybody's paying taxes one way, somewhere.
Well, actually, you pay some taxes too when you buy
groceries,
groceries,
whatever you buy. You're always, there's taxes. There's a whole line of taxes actually. There's this and this and this and this and this.
Yeah, just like that's why it's one of the things. And if you look at it, like even your utilities, there's taxes, additional fee.
And yet utilities are going up, and everything's going up, and yet Nevada has a lot of money.
And we have, and as a matter of fact, that that one of the, for instance, like the gas, we can lower the gas taxes.
Well, why don't we?
That's it, folks. That's the.
So what is the?
That's a nut and bolt on it.
So Ron,
we're not making it up.
What's the main thing that you're running on?
One of the things that I'm running on first is the general fund. We want to make sure there's a transparency. We know where the dollars are going. Second is education, like what I said earlier.
Transparency, is that such a word these days? Is it out there? Is it?
No, not yet, because nobody knows what.
Well, I just found out that we got loads of money in taxes, and we don't have to worry.
And of course, the school, like I said, we have so much money, but the school, they spend most money on the administration rather than getting it to the classroom. Because let me give you a perfect story.
All right.
I donated some school supplies with the poorest elementary school in Las Vegas.
Okay.
So when I went in there, I bought I would probably say $3,000 worth of school supplies. So catered. So when I went in there and asked the principal, and the principal goes like, "Oh, you can just put in our storage." I walked in the storage full of supplies. So I have to put mine on the floor. But then, suddenly, they tell me,
they're saying there are no supplies out there.
They don't have any supplies. They putting it to the teachers, to the parents. But what's the supplies going to do there? Like a bunch of papers in there. Coloring,
everything for kids, all the stuff for
colors,
schools.
Colors,
pencil. It could all be given away.
Absolutely. Because
I don't know if we want to know all this, do we?
And the funny thing about it's like, you know what? And first, I spoke to some teachers. What they do is like they even spend money to buy books for the children, so that's why they have something to read. So from their own money.
So from their own money, when they've got all this in storage, that they could go to the. Why are they not entitled to go to the storage place and pick it up there and then give it to them? Why can't they do that?
And that's what started in the assembly. Assembly now relate to the teachers and
we're
back again. So kind of like we're just going like what Stan was saying today. You're back again. If the assembly goes like, hey, you know what? Let's say, Mr. Sheriff, you know what? We're gonna increase your budget. It has to come from here. Kind of like Congress. That's the most important.
Like a cat trying to catch
Correct.
its tail.
That's why everything starts in the assembly. If
your assembly is not assembled, then you're actually out of
correct, because everything starts with the assembly. If we need additional budgets and things like that.
So do you think? How do you feel? You think you're winning? You think you're?
I think I'm going to win.
You are going to win. Aren't you? He doesn't. Don't think it. Do it.
Well, the thing is, like, I'm also believe that.
How many people are running it with
actually,
you?
there's in my primary, there's three of us candidate altogether. There's and then of course the incumbent.
Is there an always automatic 3 people running? Or,
no, usually if you decide to run,
it could be 1 person or 2 people,
correct,
or 5 people. It could be anything.
It could be 8.
Because mostly everybody said there's 3 of them.
Correct, and you know what? And so they're given, right? Anybody can run.
Well, that tells me that a lot of people are not running for politics. It tells me they don't want to be into politics. It tells me a lot of stories that I've learned more out of having all the politicians on about what's going on, how it's working. And it's funny because it seems like everybody's hiding something from everybody else. Nobody wants anybody to know what's going on in our own state.
That's why we need transparency, and people, like when I do door-to-door canvassing.
Okay.
And of course, like, because I want to hear from them.
Yes.
What
do you want? How do you want it?
What do they want me to do? Like, kind of like, I asked them, how's the education? Is it important to you? Economy? Is it important to you? Voters ID? Is it important to you? Things like that.
Is it important to you?
Oh, absolutely. I believe that we should show an identification, to vote. I show mine.
We have to show ID for a lot of things. Why wouldn't we show ID?
Come on,
to vote?
Facebook, when you try to sign up, trying to create something on Facebook, they make you download. They make you download your ID with an affidavit.
Try and sign up for anything, and they want all this stuff. And even if it's the last 4 digits of your social security number, they need something.
And we don't have to spend that much money. We can just put in our driver's license, kind of like an initial that you're registered to vote.
That's all.
That's all. It's already there. The only thing you need to do is
just obviously you're not too keen on what's going on with voting.
Oh, the universal mail-in ballot. I think it can invite a fraud. It can be abuse. So that's why I believe that it should be eliminated. Period.
Why do so many people want to cheat the system and want to that sort of baffles me, because these are just people. And just people want to cheat all the time, and they want to put in, death people and these people. Why? I mean, just to win.
And isn't that funny? The most powerful country in the world.
This is the most powerful country in the world is going down the tubes. Am I saying it right?
And one of
I don't think I'm saying it wrong, because I'm watching, but I think people want to start realizing, whatever side you're on, whatever you're doing, start understanding what is going on with all of you. Whether it doesn't matter what you are.
And that's why it helps a lot when you do the canvassing and you talk to actually the constituents, because you kind of explain to them.
Yes.
Kind of like if you give them a law, like a bill, and even some lawyers will understand it. Like, you have to tell them what is it,
Yes.
Rather than you put it on some big word. You have to explain it on layman's terms.
10 hours.
So they understand
They
it.
put in 10 hours on that set. Well, what was the 10 hours? They don't do that anymore. So what is your main thing? I think I interrupted you. Your main thing you want to change?
And those are those three things.
Yeah. The main things you want to change.
I want to change. And I believe, like what I said, I'm very big.
How old are you?
I'm 45 years old.
45 years old. I'm asking all ages, and I'm asking for a reason. The reason I'm asking is I just want to see younger people coming in to run the country. And the reason I'm saying that is because with the technology and everything, the older people really don't know all about the internet and the technology and everything, only because they weren't brought up into it. You were brought up into the technology.
Yeah, kind of same,
Yeah, you got in the beginning.
I got in the beginning with you.
Yeah, but you got it. You got it.
Yeah.
You were there.
Yeah,
well,
I
wasn't. I wasn't there. I don't know, I know nothing about computers.
And it's just a matter of, like, educating people, like, okay, this is the way. If you wanna, like, people have barcodes now. I remember I spoke to some, some gentleman that he goes like, "I want to see your website, but how do I do that? How do you use this barcode?" So I'm like, "Oh, well, you need to download that in your phone, and you take a picture, and then it comes up my name." Oh my God! Nobody taught me that. All right,
see.
So
it's just that's the younger generation.
It's just getting to the people. Education, like you and I.
Yes.
We always never stop learning.
No.
Like what you said, you're learning new things
right
now.
Right now, all my interviews, I've learned more than I've learned so much in the interviews, and I hope all of you have learned that I'm not out for any party or anybody. I'm not out for any of that. I'm out to get the word out there of what we need to do to empower the United States of America, because that's where we live and that's who we are. We're United States of America citizens. And we need to buck up, come on, get out of that chair, old, young, indifferent, doesn't matter, and find out what is going on. Find out, what do you want? What do you want? What do you don't want? That's what you're going to find out.
Absolutely.
And we have all these people that are running for it. As you say, it's not easy. He's going door to door. You're doing your homework. You want to make changes. But you want to make changes for the better.
Absolutely. Because, it's good for I have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. And I want them to grow up to an America that I grew up with.
You grew up with, absolutely. Were you born here in America?
No, actually, I wasn't born here. I was naturalized. Born? I was born in the Philippines.
You're Filipino. Filipino, you see? I always said I want more Filipinos on my show. You don't really get that. So now I have one. Isn't that great? Absolutely. And also, actually, my producer is also Filipino. Yeah. So maybe next week I'll come on and I'll be Filipino. Who knows what's going to happen? I don't know. Oh, strange things going to happen in the United States of America. Because don't forget, United States of America is a form of practically all countries in the world live in the United States of America. You can't say that about many countries, can
Absolutely.
you? You cannot.
Absolutely.
You cannot say that because we have so many different nationalities in America, and we go by all of them. And to live in America is, I'm English, as if you didn't know. How can anybody reach you?
Well, you guys can check my website, which is www.ronq4u.com. Again, that's Ron with the FORU.com. My name is Ron Q Quilang, and my last name spelled capital QUILANG.
It's quite easy, but it's just difficult.
Quilang.
Quilang.
And hope that you guys come out and vote. Just remember that local election is very, very important because that's the one that can make a difference in our state.
Then they all cut together. And do you have a phone number?
Yes, I do. My phone number is 702-576-5658, and I do answer that phone personally.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Ron, for coming on. I've learned a lot
Thank you for having me, and I appreciate that.
Everybody.
We could have an hour show.
Oh, we could have a... I'm known for talking. I have to shut myself up because I go all over my limits every time. Each show's supposed to be 10 minutes. My poor producer's looking at me like, Ninon, you have no idea. You don't even know what 10 is. Never mind minutes. You don't know, which I don't. But I find them very interesting. We'll be right back with our next guest, Vegas Live with Ninon. Don't forget, YouTube, subscribe, join, do all the above. Love you all. We'll be back.